The eighth house occupies a prominent position amongst the 12 houses of astrology. This house is often considered malefic. In the Vedic astrology, the eighth house regulates the areas like death, longevity, and sudden unexpected events. The developments which are triggered in one's life due to the scenario in the house number 8 include one's lifespan, longevity, and the probable reason for her death as per 8th house astrology. Signs and planets associated with the 8th house. The 8th house is called the Ayu Bhava in Vedic astrology. It deals with the Scorpio sign, with characteristics such as mystery, possessiveness, passion, and ambition. Also, Mars is the natural significator of the 8th house. It is the best house for the planets Jupiter and Sun and a weak house for Moon, Mars, and Mercury. What are the areas that the house rules and governs in individual life? The 8th house in Kundli is also related to wealth. All the sudden and unexpected events that take place in the growth and reduction of wealth happen due to the changes triggered by the 8th house. Things like sudden gains, losses, windfalls in share wealth, inheritances, insurance, etc. happen due to the 8th house. Thus, the 8th house is also called the house of transformation and mysteries. An unfavorable planetary formation in house number the 8th may cause depression, delay, dissatisfaction, and defeat. The body parts which are governed by the 8th house are the reproductive system and the colon area. Significance of the 8th house. Well, the 8th house is strongly linked to the sharp variations in different areas of life, including wealth, fortune, and so on. It is about the ups and downs in destiny and the highs and lows in the areas which are linked to human happiness. A good planetary position in the 8th house can boost the fortunes of a native enormously. On the other hand, an adverse alignment herein can mark troubles, difficulties, and challenges. But, you can ward off the malefic effects of planets with the help of astrological remedies. Get effective remedies to reduce the impact of malefic planetary influences with your Janampatri. How critical can an afflicted 8th house be? If the planets in 8th house in horoscope are afflicted, it may affect the longevity of that person. It may cause him a chronic illness and various forms of misery. Mental peace may be lost. There may even be monetary issues, criminal involvement, penalty or punishment, addictions, deformities, losing the loved ones, death, and other types of problems. Positive influence of the 8th house. On the other hand, if the 8th house is positive, it may have several positive outcomes. Like the person may have a long life and she is likely to overcome oppositions and enemies. Besides, those who have a strong planetary position in the 8th house will be more inclined towards the metaphysical subjects and issues related to psychic abilities. These people are also masters in academic subjects like psychology, science, mathematics, and paranormal studies as depicted in the 8th house Vedic astrology. What picture does the 8th house project for future prediction? In the more worldly astrology, 8th house represents things like natural calamities, death rates in a country, losing conflicts, debts, import-export taxes, deficits in budgets. It also caters to confidential things, research work, mining, minerals, archaeology. It is said that the 8th house makes the person withdraw from material pleasures. The 8th house shows the difficult side of life. It shows harsh reality and ruthlessness of the worldly affairs. Thus, the 8th house deters us from the path of materialism and shows us the glory of the spiritual life. The house may put you on the path to liberation. The 8th house can act as a big game changer because it can alter the purpose and course of our life.